I can promise you that I'll be nice, and if you want to see me, we can talk. And naubos na ho yung pagkasuplado ko kasi dahil sa the COVID, the COVID humbled me. Maybe there will be a lot of legal issues, but we can talk.
Pangilinan, who is also chairman of TV5, welcomed Duterte's apology. Pangilinan added that the MVP group is ready to work on issues with the government. Last year, the president repeatedly lashed out at the Ayala Group and Pangilinan, both of which run Metro Manila's water concessionaires. The president singled out the Ayala's Manila Water and Pangilinan's Manilad over so-called onerous water contracts. PALA's Chief Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo says that the government can declare martial law with the COVID-19 pandemic as a basis, calling it, and we quote, an invasion of the disease. Some government officials backed his statements, while experts in the legal field quickly refuted what they called Panelo's creative interpretation of the law. Here's the report.
Malacanang Chief Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo has since been back on air, not a spokesperson, but in his own commentary show aired in state-owned network PTV. During the show on Monday, Panelo claimed that the so-called invasion of the coronavirus disease qualifies as a ground to declare martial law.
Ano bang meron ngayon? There is an actual invasion of the coronavirus disease, which is pandemic. It threatens, in fact, the entire country, yung lahat ng mga kababayan natin. So may actual na invasion. And public safety is endangered. And yun nga, di ba sinasabi ng Konstitusyon, rebellion or invasion when public safety requires.
As of the latest tally, the country has recorded more than 9,000 cases of COVID-19, along with at least 600 deaths. Strict lockdown is in place in most areas in Luzon and major cities in Visayas and Mindanao. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Locsin backed Panelo's pronouncement, saying a pandemic-triggered martial law places COVID-19 as the enemy and not any people in particular. Locsin insisted that a martial law order, even one caused by a virus, is still meant to protect the public. Retired Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio simply laughed off the issue when sought for comment. Justice Secretary Bernardo Guevara, on the other hand, took a more serious stand, saying the invasion being referred to in martial law meant an armed uprising either by foreign forces or a rebellion against government. Guevara insists that in any case, an invasion by non-living things such as viruses does not qualify. The Integrated Bar of the Philippines shares the sentiment, saying that while it is a creative interpretation of the law, the 1987 Constitution has been clear about what should constitute as basis for declaring martial law. The IBP says the meaning of invasion under the Constitution should not be stretched to cover just any excuse to declare martial law. Last month, President Rodrigo Duterte threatened to impose his own kind of martial law should lawlessness persist amid enhanced community quarantine in the country, which is scheduled to end next week, May 15. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Long lines formed at the entrance of the Pretil Market in Tondo, Manila this morning after the lifting of a hard lockdown in the city's first district. Residents were already queuing an hour before stores opened at 6 a.m. Tondo 1 was placed under a 48-hour hard lockdown in order to conduct mass testing. Around 1,400 residents of Tondo 1 underwent rapid testing, out of which 109 tested positive and will be subjected to confirmatory testing. We will pause for a short break. Our special coverage on the COVID-19 pandemic will be right back. Welcome back. You are still watching the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Signal TV's One News, Radio 5, and One PH. This just in, the Department of Education has announced that the opening of classes for this school year from grade school to senior high school is set on August 24, 2020. The DepEd also says that all major school events such as fairs, campus journalism contests, Festival of Talents, job fairs, and others are canceled for this year. The Interagency Task Force today inspected the mega swabbing center located at the Palacio de Manila along Ross Boulevard. It is one of the 4 mega swabbing centers in Metro Manila that are set to be operational this week. Greg Gregorio joins us live from Manila. Greg, ilang swab tests ang kayang gawin nitong pasilidad na ito?
Bok, ipinagmamalaki ng IATF at ng National Task Force Against COVID-19, pati na rin ng Department of Health na kayang magsagawa ng higit 1,000 swab tests itong mega swabbing facility sa Palacio de Maynila dito sa Malate. Kasalukuyan itong mayroong 65 swab testing booths at mga medical technologists ng Philippine Coast Guard ang siyang tatao sa kada booth. Ayon kay PCG Commandant Admiral Joel Garcia, mayroon silang nasa 300 personnel na naka-assign sa 3 shifts. Tutulungan din daw sila ng ilang personnel mula sa Bureau of Fire Protection. Ayon naman kay NTF Deputy Chief Implementer Secretary Vince Dizon, sapat pa kasalukuyang bilang ng mga naka-assign na personnel dito para sa 2 linggo. Pero naghahanap na rin daw ng karagdagang team ang DOH para naman sa susunod pang 2 linggo habang sumasailalim naman sa mandatory quarantine ang unang team. Pawang mga land-based at sea-based OFWs ang mga isa sa ilalim sa swab testing dito. Ang kada test ng seafarers ay babayaran ng kanilang manning agency habang OWA naman ang gagastos para sa testing ng isang OFW. Ayon kay NTF Chief Implementer Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., pansamantala silang ilalagay sa mga quarantine facilities habang iniintay naman ang PCR test results sa loob ng 1 hanggang 3 araw mula sa laboratory ng Philippine Red Cross sa Mandaluyong. Oras na magnegatibo ay di na daw kailangan tapusin ng partikular na OFW ang kanyang 14-day quarantine. Maaari na daw itong umuwi matapos mabigyan ng clearance ng Bureau of Quarantine na dapat ay kilalanin naman ng LGU batay na rin sa kasunduan ng NTF at DILG. Ayon naman kay Health Secretary Francisco Duque III, sasailalim pa rin ang individual na ito sa 14-day home quarantine na dapat namang i-monitor ng Barangay Health Emergency Response Team o BERT. Bukas ay magsisimula ng operasyon nitong mega swabbing facility sa Palacio de Maynila dito nga sa Malate at kumpiyansa ang mga otoridad na mas mapapabilis pa ang paglalabas ng mga results dahil sa kasalukuyan mayroong 56 laboratories na pending para sa accreditation ng RITM dahil daw dito ay maaabot ang target na 30,000 daily testing capacity pagdating ng May 30. Bok.
Maraming salamat. News 5's Greg Gregorio reporting live from Manila. The Bicol region has not recorded any new case of COVID-19 for the last 2 days. As of last night, the region's number of patients testing positive for the disease is at 46, with 30 recoveries, 11 still admitted in hospitals, and 1 under quarantine and 4 deaths. The last time the region recorded new cases of the virus was on May 2, with 3 infections from Legazpi and Daraga cities in Albay. The Central Visayas Police Regional Office spiced up their way of reminding the public to practice good hygiene, featuring their own dance troupe. Members of the PRO 7's Amigo Corps dancers performed a routine they call COVID-19 Dance Challenge. In a Facebook video, the usual stiff and snappy policemen spinned and swayed their way on giving tips on how to avoid spreading COVID-19, such as practicing social distancing, the washing of hands, and covering one's mouth when coughing. And that's the latest on the enhanced and expanded community quarantine. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm En Ligao, and we throw you back to Malacanang's virtual press conference on the COVID-19 crisis.
para sila naman po ay hindi mahahawa o mai-infect in case na meron po sa ating mga kababayan na nagdadala ng virus na COVID-19. So, sa mga susunod pong mga araw, iraramp up po natin ang laboratory testing. No, na report po natin sa ating Pangulo kagabi na right now, meron tayong 20 laboratories. In fact, I think as of yesterday, 22 na ito. No? So 22, meron pa tayong dagdag na 56. Ang target po natin by May 30, 78 na po ang ating mga laboratorio sa buong Pilipinas, kasama na ang Visayas at ang Mindanao. Siyempre po, kung makikita natin ang mapa, ang pinakamarami pong infection natin ngayon ay sa island of Luzon, lalo na sa Metro Manila. Kaya po hindi tama lang na mas marami tayong laboratorio doon. Pero magsi-scale up na rin po tayo ng mga iba't ibang laboratorio sa buong bansa, including Visayas and Mindanao. Importante po itong gagawin natin ito dahil sa mga darating na araw at darating na buwan, kailangan po ready tayong mag-test ng ating mga kababayan dahil po hindi hihinto ang ating testing, hindi hihinto ang ating pagtetest. Ngayon po, nasa 5,000 per day pa lang po ang ating daily test on average. Gusto natin po sa pamamagitan nitong 78 laboratories na to, tumaas tayo ng 30,000 per day. Pag tayo po ay umabot na ng 30,000 per day, nandun na po tayo sa level ng testing katulad ng mga bansang talagang nag-invest sa testing tulad ng South Korea at ng mga iba pang bansa. At mas mataas pa tayo sa level ng Singapore at ng Israel. Yun po ang ating goal at naniniwala po tayo na kung ma-activate natin ang labs na to, magkakaroon na po tayo ng capacity to test 30,000 per day by May 30. At gagawin po natin to sa tulong ng private sector. Unang-una po, no, ang pinakamalaki pong laboratorio ngayon sa Pilipinas ay ang laboratorio ng Philippine Red Cross sa pamumuno po ni Senator Richard Gordon. Kaya tayo po talaga nagpapasalamat po tayo kay Senator Gordon at sa mga magigiting at bayani nating mga kasamahan, kababayan sa Philippine Red Cross. Dahil po talagang napakalaki ng kanilang ginawa at napakalaki po ng kanilang contribution sa ating testing capacity. At hindi pa po ata hihinto ang Red Cross. No? Magtatayo pa sila ng iba pang mga testing facility sa Metro Manila, sa Central Luzon, sa Southern Luzon, at sa Visayas at sa Mindanao. Kaya po muli nagpapasalamat tayo kay Senator Gordon at sa ating mga kababayan sa Red Cross. Pero hindi lamang po Red Cross, pati po ang mga private companies tulad ng Unilab, ng Ayala, ng San Miguel, yung ating pong mga hospital tulad ng St. Luke's, Makati Medical at yung pong mga hospital sa nakasama sa Metro Pacific Group of Companies. Sila po ay magsasama-sama dito sa tinatawag nating T3 Coalition kasama ng ating DOH, kasama ng ating gobyerno para mag-ramp up tayo ng testing capacity. Ang immediate po nating goal, no, in the next few weeks ay iswab at itest ang 25,000 OFWs at overseas Filipinos sa ating sa Metro Manila at sa Greater Metro Manila area. Ito po yung mga seafarers natin, mga land-based OFWs at mga overseas Filipinos. So, ito po, no, yung mga mega swabbing centers natin. Bibilisan ko na lang po ito para mas marami tayong panahon sa katanungan. Nasabi na po ito ni spokesperson Harry Roque kanina. Meron tayong 4 na swabbing centers. Magpapakita pa po tayo ng mga ibang pictures. Ito po ay sa Palasyo. Nandito po kami kanina ni Secretary Duque at ng ating Chief Implementer na si Secretary Galvez. Ready na po yan ang ating magigiting po na Philippine Coast Guard at mga kasamahan natin sa Bureau of Fire Protection. Ang o-operate po nito, sila po yung mga nakikita natin ngayon sa picture na naka-PPE. At makikita nyo po yung mga booth, protektado po sila dyan. Ito po, meron din po tayong tinayo sa NAIA 2 at sa NAIA 1. No, meron pong mga swabbing centers dyan na mag-ooperate na. Pagka nagbukas na po ang ating mga airport at immediately po paglabas ng ating mga kababayan sa kanilang mga flight, isa-swab test na po natin sila para po lumabas na po ang kanilang mga PCR results sa loob ng 24 to 48 hours. At syempre po, yung ating mga quarantine centers, nakita nyo na po ito. Ito ang Philippine Arena. Ulit po, nagpapasalamat tayo sa Iglesia ni Cristo, sa kanilang generosity, at sa lahat ng mga private sector partners na talagang tumulong po sa ating mga quarantine sites at sa ating mga swabbing facilities. Sa mga swabbing facilities po natin, nagpapasalamat po tayo sa Manila Bulletin Group, sa SM para sa paggamit ng MOA Arena, at sa Udena Group po para sa paggamit ng Enderan. No, at syempre po ang Razon Group at ang Ayala Group of Companies sa kanilang donation sa paggawa ng mga facilities na to at sa lahat ng mga testing booths na gagamitin natin sa mga swabbing centers na ito. So yun po, marami pong salamat at ibabalik ko na lang po kay spokesperson Harry Roque. Maraming po salamat sa ating lahat at sa ating mga partners sa T3 Coalition. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Presidential Assistant Vince Dizon. Bago po tayo tumanggap ng questions, lilinawin ko lang po, pasensya na po, nabulol. Ang ibig sabihin ko kanina po sa datos ng mga namatay, bagamat dumadami po ang namamatay, napabagal na po natin yung numerong namamatay on a daily basis. Pasensya na po, nabulol. Now, Trish Terada of CNN.
Sir, good afternoon po, Secretary and Sir Vince. My question is about po doon sa testing centers. Since our target is to have 78 testing centers by the end of May, this means we will also need more people for these testing centers. At this point, sir, how are we going to secure manpower considering na kulang na po yung health workers natin and may mga nagkakasakit? How are we going to have people making sure that they are safe as well in conducting the swabbing and testing po?
Okay, si Mr. Vince Dizon po ang sasagot.
Thank you very much. Alam niyo po ngayon, nagtawag na po tayo ng tinatawag nating clarion call. No? Ito ay panawagan sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan, lalong-lalo na sa mga involved sa medical profession, ang ating mga medical professionals, pati po ang mga nag-aaral, no? Kasi po nagtawag na po tayo in fact sa ating mga universities para ihid ang call para sa mga swabbers at iba pong mga magbo-volunteer para po tulungan tayo dito sa ating napakalaking operation sa testing. In fact, kahapon po si Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea ay nanawagan na rin po sa lahat ng mga kawani ng pamahalaan na mag-volunteer na po. Lahat po ng mga ahensya ng pamahalaan ngayon ay tinatawag na para po sumama at tumulong sa effort natin na ito. Hindi lang kasi swabbers ang kailangan natin, no? Kailangan natin ng mga encoders, kailangan natin ng mga barcoders, kailangan natin ng mga iba't ibang mga volunteers para po tumulong sa napakalaking operasyon na ito sa ating napakalaking testing operation na gagawin natin sa loob nitong buwan ng Mayo at tuloy-tuloy na po ito hanggang sa mga susunod na buwan.
Sir, I understand from how it looks like we're getting volunteers who are, of course, not trained experts. Sir, how are we going to make sure that they are protected? Kasi po, di ba, sa case nga po ng RITM, yung mga nasa testing, laboratory facilities, at least 40 were infected. How can we make sure, sir, na hindi, or at least mapoprotektahan itong mga volunteers natin, especially they're more exposed now to possible COVID cases?
Napakaganda po nung tanong. No? Napaka-importante po para sa ating Pangulo at sa ating gobyerno ang health at kapakanan ng ating mga frontliners at lalo na yung ating mga health workers. Dito nga po, dun sa nakita nyong mga facilities na tinatayo natin, nag-invest po talaga tayo at nagpapasalamat tayo sa private sector na tumulong sila sa pag-provide para sa ating mga health workers nung mga testing booths. Nung pong mga nakaraang araw, ang mga swabbers po natin ay walang ganitong klasing mga facilities, no? At mas prone po sila dahil po kung wala kang testing booth, mas meron kang contact sa ating mga magiging pasyente. Pero now with the testing booths, meron pong plexiglass wall na nagse-separate sa ating mga health workers at sa ating mga pasyente. Unang-una po yon. Ikalawa po, syempre po, nandyan po ang tuloy-tuloy na pagbigay natin ng mga personal protective equipment sa ating mga frontliners at lahat ng mga magtatrabaho sa mga facilities nating tulad nito. At sila po ay nagro-rotate na po ngayon, no, into shifts, no. Hindi sila pwedeng tuloy-tuloy. Meron po tayong shifting na 6 hours. After every 6 hours, magpapalit po para makapagpahinga po ang ating mga health workers. At every 2 weeks po, kailangan silang mag-quarantine. At may magpapalit pong panibagong team na magre-relyebo sa kanila. At after 2 weeks na naman, magka-quarantine po yon. So, we are exerting all efforts po na protektahan po ang ating mga frontliners. At nagtitiwala po tayo sa sistemang ito na dinevelop ng ating Department of Health.
Sir, last about the testing center. Since target po siya by the end of May, does this mean that there's a possibility na since May 15, pa lang tayo, possibility po ba na ma-extend pa yung ECQ or can the government already ease the restrictions come May 15 or mangyayari pa po ba yan after ma-meet natin yung target na 30,000 testing capacity po?
Pasensya na po tayo at wala po ako sa posisyon na magsabi ng ganyan. Ang desisyon po na yan ay irerekomenda po ng ating IATF based sa kanilang very clear parameters kung kailan dapat mag-transition from ECQ to GCQ. Mangyayari po yan pero ang IATF po ang magrerekomenda niyan at ang presidente po ang magdidesisyon. Ang ginagawa lang po natin ngayon ay binibuild up po natin ang ating infrastructure para mag-test at para mag-isolate at mag-treat. Yan po ang kinakailangan natin, hindi lamang dahil dito sa deadline natin o date ng pag-desisyon ng ECQ sa May 15. Pero ginagawa po natin yan dahil alam natin ang COVID-19 ay hindi po matatapos sa buwan ng Mayo, hindi matatapos sa buwan ng Hunyo. Malamang po ito'y tatagal pa, kailangan po nating maghanda at i-prepare itong infrastructure na ito sa mga darating na buwan.
Thank you, Sir Vince. Siguro my question, sir, is for Secretary Roque.
Yes.
Sir, yun po, napag-usapan po ba ng IATF kung possible pa pong ma-extend yung ECQ until we meet the target of having 78 testing centers by the end of May?
Well, ang desisyon nga po ay sang-ayon dun sa bilis ng pagkalat ng sakit at saka yung ating capacity to provide medical attention. No? Ang tingin ko it's too early to come up with any conclusion, but they have come up already with clear guidelines that will be applied in making the decision kung magtutuloy po ang ECQ o hindi. Yan po yung na-approvean din kahapon. No? So, tignan po natin ang datos sa mga darating na araw.
Sir, yung sa second tranche po ng SAP, kailan po kaya most likely may implement yun considering na very late in the game na po tayo dun sa distribution ng first tranche and we're at the point na hinuhuli pa po natin kung sino yung mga corrupt officials stealing government aid po?
Well, sa totoo lang, hindi ko pa masasagot ngayon yan. Inaasahan natin na mapapadistribute natin ito at the soonest time possible. Pero inaamin nga po natin na yung first tranche ay hindi pa nga po completely na ibibigay sa ating mga kababayan. Hayaan nyo po, anyway, parating naman po yan, magagamit din. No? But we promise you that we have learned from the earlier experience of distributing the first tranche and we will definitely be more efficient in distributing the second tranche.
Thank you,
Rocky?
sir.
Okay, Secretary, questions from dalawang tanong ni Francis Wakefield of Daily Tribune. What's the basis under the law that the simple letter or notice from Congress can grant NTC the legal right to extend a franchise which under the law must be approved and passed by Congress, signed by the President?
Well, I don't think NTC will let any institution influence its decision. No? Alam niyo po, in administrative law, yung dalawang konsepto po, yung exhaustion of administrative remedies at saka yung doctrine of primary jurisdiction, ayan po yung nagsasabi na kapag very specialized yung issue sa batas, kinakailangan hayaan mong desisyonan yung ng mga tribunal o mga quasi-judicial bodies na merong sapat na kakayahan para desisyonan yung bagay na yan. Ang issue po ng prangkisa sa broadcast industry ay isang ganyang bagay, and that is why the official position of the President is, since the matter is pending with the NTC, we will respect the decision of the NTC, pero sa ngayon po, antayin muna natin ang decision ng NTC.
Okay, from Francis Wakefield pa rin po ng Daily Tribune, for a long period or at least from 1996, a broadcast giant ABS-CBN Corporation operated under an American head and its chairman and controlling stockholder Eugenio Lopez III in violation of constitutional provisions barring foreigners from controlling local media companies. Thus, Jose Calida's statement noted when ABS-CBN Incorporation's franchise was approved on 30 March 1995 through Republic Act 7966. Mr. Lopez, in strict terms, was an American citizen, which was another violation of our nationalization laws. The Office of the Solicitor General noted that despite being recognized as a Filipino in 2001, Mr. Lopez continued to use his American passport as shown by the list of travel records dated March 3, 2020, issued by the Bureau of Immigration of BI, which control number 200345520.
Well, sigurado po ako, isa to sa mga bagay na ikokonsidera ng Kongreso ngayong pinag-uusapan na po kung bibigyan ng renewal ng prangkisa ang ABS-CBN. So kung sa tingin po ng Kongreso na makaka-epekto sa decision nito, I'm sure they will consider it. No? So we leave that matter to Congress because they are the ones, they are the only ones who can decide on whether or not ABS-CBN should be given a renewal of its franchise. Si Maricel Halili ng TV5.
Hi sir, magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon po.
After President Duterte asked for an apology to the Ayalas and Mr. Pangilinan, what will happen po dun sa issue ng water concessionaires ng Maynilad and Manila Waters?
Well, alam niyo po, batas naman ang umiiral dyan, no? So I am sure the legal studies and legal examination will proceed. But we're expecting po na mas malakas po ngayon ang partnership ng gobyerno at ng pribadong sektor sa mga bagay-bagay na importante ngayong panahon ng COVID-19. Ang sabi nga po ng Presidente, pwede naman pag-usapan po siguro yung mga ibang issues. No? Pero sa ngayon, nagpapasalamat siya sa tulong ng mga pribadong kumpanya sa taong bayan ng panahon ng krisis.
Sir, paglilinaw lang po tungkol doon sa amelioration program because yesterday po, Yusek Malaya of DILG said na hindi na raw po kayang umabot ng additional 5 million dun sa first tranche. So most likely sa second tranche na daw po siya makakabilang. Can you confirm this, sir? Ano po yung naging decision ng IATF?
Ang decision po ng IATF, bigyan ng 23 million na Pilipino. Whether be it sa first tranche o sa second tranche, doesn't matter. Basta importante, yung 23 million will get between 5 to 8,000 for that month. Yun po ang decision ng IATF.
Sir, last na lang po. Doon po sa report ni President Duterte sa Senate, he mentioned na meron daw pong na-record ang PNP na 763 cases of crimes against women and 521 crimes against children since the implementation of the enhanced community quarantine. Is there an increase on the domestic violence? Why does the President find it necessary to include this on his report po?
I'm not sure kung meron pong increase. I guess it's just a matter of fact that the President stated what appears in the logbook of the PNP as recorded crimes against women and children.
Sir, pahabol lang. Meron din po kasing na-mention si President dun sa report na one of the challenges dun sa distribution ng SAP is that some local officials are threatening DSWD personnel. What kind of threat po yung nire-refer ni President Duterte dito?
Alam niyo naman, mainit talaga yung usapin na kung sino dapat mabigyan. No? At ang ginagawa kasi ng DSWD, verify no? Yung mga listahan na sinumite ng mga pamahalang lokal. Siguro naman hindi naman po criminal threat yan, kundi siguro init ng ulo rin dahil marami sa binigyan nila ng rekomendasyon na mapasama ay hindi po sinama ng DSWD. I do not know exactly kung ano yung sinasabi ni Presidente, pero I could imagine yan po yung nagiging sigalot. Kumbaga, yung mga mayor na frustrate na yung mga sinabihan nila mga constituents kasama sa listahan ay hindi napasama sa listahan ng DSWD.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yusek Rocky?
From Vance Fernandez ng Police Files, paano daw po i-manage itong mga solid waste, toxic, hazardous waste? Buong Pilipinas may infection, hospital waste, mga plastic, tin can, plastic bottles, dati na daw problema, bawal ang open dump sites, sanitary landfill. Ilan ba ang approved sanitary landfill sa buong bansa, sa dami ng basura, saan daw po itatapon itong mga toxic waste ngayong nahaharap tayo sa COVID-19 crisis?
Well, I'm sure si Yusek po ng DNR in charge of solid waste can answer this better, no? Pero ang alam ko lang po, meron po tayong mga special cells sa ating mga landfill for hazardous waste. So doon po siya itatapon, no? At alam ko rin po, meron tayong mga specialized treatment and storage disposal facilities na pinatatakbo po ng mga pribadong kumpanya. So dyan din po pupunta yung hazardous waste na yan. Joyce? Joyce? Joseph muna. Joseph.
Secretary.
Ayun na si Joyce.
Secretary.
Okay, go ahead.
Apo. Yes, apo. Secretary. Hello?
Yes, Joyce, go ahead.
Okay po. Secretary, in-announce na po ni DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones na August 24 po ang start ng school year. Pero hindi daw po lahat ng mga paaralan will be allowing the students yung physical na pagpasok. May mga iba po nagagamit ng virtual or digital learning tools. Na-identify na po ba ng IETF which places po ang papayag na physically papasok ang mga estudyante at alin naman po yung for virtual or digital learning system?
Actually, on this issue po, we defer to the Department of Education, no? Kasi nga po, ang early recommendation, September, no? Pero ang sabi nga ng DepEd, we have to implement the law, no? And it's our mandate to implement the law, and that is why we respect the decision of DepEd to open some of the schools on the 23rd, no? 24th bang sabi mo?
24th.
24th, no? Now, wala na pong ibang decision ng IATF dyan. Siguro po, the DepEd can give further details on this.
Okay. Another topic po, sir. Doon lang sa follow-up sa question ni Mase on apology ni Pangulong Duterte sa mga Ayala and also kay Manny Pangilinan. What is the consequence of the President apologizing to them? Does this mean hindi na po tayo magpupursue ng cases against them? Kasi I believe that may mga threats po before ng economic sabotage, graft, and corruption against these water concessionaires.
Sabi naman po niya, pwedeng mag-usap sa mga issues between these companies and the government, no? So I think that's an indication na kung po pwedeng out-of-court settlement, he will explore out-of-court settlement. Pero yung mga issues na linabas ng ating presidente, larong-laro na sa water concessions, remain. Siguro po yung pag-uusap dun sa kung paano babaguhin yung concession agreement ng dalawang kumpanya na nagbibigay ng tubig sa atin.
So this does not mean na clean slate na yung mga water concessionaires natin. If ever may makita po na violations pa din or yung sinasabi nga nilang allegation of onerous contracts before, mapapanagot pa rin po ba sila doon?
Well, kumbaga sa ordinaryong kasuhan, no, usap muna tayo bago tayo magdemandahan. Siguro yun po ibig sabihin ng ating presidente.
Okay. On another topic, sir, dun sa naging comment ni Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Attorney Panelo on what he believed was a definition of invasion as a valid basis for martial law. Is this something that he advised to the President, looking at this pandemic as an invasion, which could be a valid ground for declaration of martial law?
I think that is the personal view of Secretary Panelo. There is a memo which designates the Office of the presidential spokesperson as the only authorized office to speak on behalf of the president and on behalf of the executive branch of government. We cannot, of course, deprive Secretary Panela of his freedom of speech. But since your question is this an advice given to the president? Probably. But the president, being a long-time public servant, is a specialist not only in criminal law because he was a prosecutor for many years, but is also a specialist on constitutional law because for the past 30 years, siya po ay naging elected public official. He's probably one of the most noted constitutionalists in this country right now by experience, if not by academic training.
Okay, kasi po si Secretary Menardo Guevara, he said, no, nag-comment siya doon sa definition ng invasion, and he said it can only be used with regards to actions of human beings and not viruses. Pagdating po doon sa definition ng invasion, relating it to martial law. Do you also share the same sentiment, or do you agree with the same definition?
In legal parlance, I concur with the view of Secretary Guevara.
Okay. Since last night po, Secretary, itong naging comment ni Secretary Panelo, it spurred a lot of negative comments. Most of the comments are against the government, floating this idea after the palace already denied na one of the options ang declaration of martial law. How do we handle these negative comments now being faced by the government?
Well, lalagay ko lang po sa proper context. Ang sabi ng Presidente, hindi siya mag-aatubili, magdeklara ng martial law, sang-ayon po dun sa basihan na nakasaad sa ating salaging batas, at yan po ay rebelyon ng NPA. Lalong-lalo na kung patuloy nilang aatakihin ang ating sundalo para nakawin yung mga ayuda na nakalaan sa ating mga kababayan. So I think that is the presidential proclamation on this issue. Hindi lang po ako nagsalita niyan, ang Presidente rin po ang nagsalita niyan. Ibig sabihin po, magkaiba po sila ng posisyon ni Secretary Panelo.
Last na po for me, sir. Do you confirm na deny daw po yung request na Naga City na maisailalim sila sa ECQ? And if yes, are there other places po na na-deny din ng IETF for ECQ implementation?
Siguro hindi naman na-deny, hindi pa naaktuhan. Kasi ang alam ko, yung application po ng Zamboanga City at saka yung Legazpi and Albay came at the nick of time, kumbaga, no? Dahil talagang patapos na yung meeting ng IATF at pahabol na nga lang po yung request na yon, kaya hindi napasama sa EO. Siguro wala pang pagkakataon lang na pag-usapan sa IATF.
Very last na lang po, sir. Bali, ilan po yung may pending request na masama rin po sila sa ECQ?
I will check po, pero kung hindi ako nagkakamali, mga 7 po ang meron pang pending requests.
Okay.
Rocky.
Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you.
Okay, from Angel Ronquillo ng DZXL, yung daw sa 30,000, kung meron na daw pong natatanggap na reklamo yung ating mga, dito sa mga tiwaling local officials. And paano daw po i-validate yung sumbong sa mga tiwaling officials? Baka daw po yung iba kasi kaaway lang yung barangay officials para makaganti at gusto lang kumubra ng 30,000.
Well, kinukumpirma ko po na ako mismo sa telepono ko, napakadami ko nang nakuha. Ang sagot ko po, hindi sapat na magsabi o magparatang ng bintang. Kinakailangan po magbigay ng ebidensya, gaya ng ebidensya na ginamit dun sa barangay councilor ng Hagonoy, Bulacan. No? Meron siyang video recording ng pangyayari. No? So, kinakailangan po gumawa rin ng complaint affidavit. Kung ito po ay isang criminal complaint, isubmit po ang inyong complaint affidavit sa pinakamalapit na istasyon ng pulis o di naman kaya sa NBI. Kung administrative naman po ang reklamo, isumitin niyo po yan sa pinakamalapit na tanggapan ng DILG. At gaya ng sinabi ng Presidente, pwede niyo rin pong itawag sa 8888. Hindi po sapat na nagsusumbong lamang, kinakailangan magsumiti po ng ebidensya dahil ang pabuya po ay doon sa mapapatunayang tama po ang paratang. Hindi lang po magpaparatang, kinakailangan patunayan. Yes, Joseph Morong.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Sir, just some quick fire questions. No? I texted you about it. It seems, no, maraming mga kababayan natin yung stranded. So yung tinext ko, sir, kagabi, paano yung movement? For example, within Metro Manila, GCQ, can somebody from Mandaluyong go to Manila para sunduin yung kanyang anak?
Lahat naman po tayo ECQ pa eh. So ECQ pa po yung lugar na sinabi nyo, no? Pwede naman kayo kumuha po ng TF pass kung kinakailangan, no? Ngayon lang po, meron akong tinulungan na papunta sa isang GCQ area kung po pwede na ang lamay sa namatay na hindi naman dahil sa COVID-19. At ang proseso po ay kukuha kayo ng IATF pass doon po sa City Hall, no? So marami po akong kakilala na nagbabiyahe mula Baguio hanggang Manila dahil yung mga anak na iwan sa Maynila, kailangan na umakyat sa Baguio. Ganun po, kumukuha po sila ng IATF travel pass.
Travel pass from the LGU ng origin.
Sa City Hall po sila nag-a-apply o sa munisipyo.
So yan po yung magiging parang guiding principle natin.
Yan
so
po,
yung
dapat
sa ano
tupad
lang,
yan. Opo.
sa schools, yung mga bata will return. How about the college students?
Well, ganun din po ang petsa, no? Ang petsa po ay, ang rekomendasyon ng IATF ay Setyembre, pero CHED could probably also make its own recommendation. Ang importante nga po, dun sa mga lugar na GCQ ngayon, yung higher education institutes lang po ang pwedeng magbukas only for the purpose of completing the school year and preparing credentials, no? And emphasizing na kapag magbubukas sa mga GCQ, kinakailangan to utilize flexible learning.
Okay. So yung pong may mga petition, I think, with regard to mass gathering, yung mga churches, they want to return to the churches already kasi how different daw po ba yung mga churches dun sa mga social distancing measures natin na ginagawa sa mga supermarkets, for example?
Ay, hindi pa po talaga po pwede kasi ang nangyari naman sa supermarkets, nakikita na po natin yung mga larawan na i-implement talaga ang social distancing kasi nag-aantay. Pero sa kahit anong simba po, meron pong schedule yan, hindi man po pwedeng nag-aantayan, no? Hindi po pwedeng pumila para pumasok. Kailangan talaga pumila. Kaya ano mangyayari dahil ang service po sabay-sabay sumasamba. So kaya nga po minabuti na bawiin muna yung earlier recommendation na allow na nga itong mga religious gatherings. Anyway, it is only for now po, no, na nasa GCQ pa rin, pero kapag yung mga areas naman po na low ang risk, possibly po in the future, baka mapayagan niya. Pero sa ngayon po, hindi pa rin po pinapayagan.
Sir, yung DOH po, ang sabi, I think one of the experts that the DOH is working with, ay may flattening of the curve na raw pong nangyayari. Would you confirm?
There is a flattening of the curve. Yun ang, well, yes, that's the declaration of Yusek Vergere, and of course, she is a medical doctor and I'm not, so I defer to her, no? Pero even in the charts that we show in our press briefings, bagamat merong bahagyang pagtaas, no, nakikita nyo naman na kahit papano sa new confirmed cases, hindi na tumataas beyond yung bilang na 100, no? So bumababa pa nga sa bilang ng 100, hindi na tumataas sa bilang na 300, no? So parang it has flattened as far as, ano ba yon, 300 o 100? Pasensya na kayo, mahina yung aking mata. I think it's 300, no? Beyond 300 cases, no? So hindi na siya tumataas doon. So in a way, we can say it has begun to flatten.
And what will that be? What effect will that have on easing the restrictions in Metro Manila?
Well, tremendous because remember, it's a confluence of yung pagbilis ng pagkalat at saka yung capacity to provide critical care at saka yung ekonomiya, yan ang tinitignan natin, no? So, for as long as we have sufficient critical care facilities para dun sa mga magkakasakit, hindi naman natin po pwede na ma-ignore yung katotohanan na kinakailangan buhay na yung ekonomiya. So ang tinatansya lang talaga natin, ang kinukuha nating balance, kung ano na yung pwede na simulan ng ekonomiya nang hindi naman magiging banta sa buhay dahil hindi natin kaya bigyan ng medical assistance. Okay?
Sir Pasensya, one last on you. And sir, hold on. Yung sa mga sumbong, no, nagalit talaga sa presidente, sabi niyo kagabi yung word, yung kinakana, no? So parang 888 tatawag, and then what kind of response do they expect from 888?
Well, kukunin siguro yung mga detalye, no? Wag po kayo mag-alala about your identity. As much as possible, we will protect your identity, and if need be, kung talagang kakasuhan yung tao, makakapasok kayo sa Witness Protection Program ng gobyerno. Pero pag-iingatan po namin yan, alam po natin na politics is always local, at dahil po dyan, bibigyan po ng careful attention yung inyong identity. Okay, back
Sir,
to you,
can I
Sec.
go to Secretary Dizon?
Dami mo ng last question, ha? O sige.
Isa lang. Kay Sandra.
Okay, isang question lang. Mr.
Okay.
Vince Dizon?
Kay Secretary Dizon, you mentioned 25,000 tests so far, no? Yun yung target niyo muna initially dun sa mass testing. But after you finish with the 25,000, what kind of testing do we expect? Do we expect a mass testing such that any ordinary person should or will be tested dun sa mga testing hubs natin?
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Unang-una, yung 25,000 po napakita ko kanina, and maybe we can show it again, no, if possible. This is the target for the OFWs. This is the immediate target of the swabbing facilities. Because as Secretary Galvez pointed out yesterday, right now there are about 20 plus 25,000 OFWs and overseas Filipinos who are in the greater Metro Manila area under quarantine. And we have to test them as soon as possible in order to be able to decongest the quarantine facilities, the hotels, and the various other quarantine facilities in Metro Manila before we can start accepting OFWs again. Kaya kaakibat nito actually yung desisyon ng ating chief implementer na mag-suspend muna ng inbound flights into Metro Manila. So ito ang ating immediate goal, Joseph. Pero hindi lang ito ang itetest. Marami pang tinetest on a day-to-day basis. Nanggagaling po yan sa ating mga LGUs mostly na tinetest nila ang kanilang mga PUIs, PUMs at ang kanilang mga health workers. Nanggagaling po yan sa ating mga hospitals, nanggagaling po yan sa ating mga kumpanya, no, na nagpapatest na rin daily. So the goal is to create a capacity of 30,000 tests per day by the end of May para kampante tayo na kapag lumawak ang ating mga kailangang itest, meron tayong ready na lab capacity para gawin ito. So it's really a preparation that we are doing for the coming weeks and the coming months. Ngayon, sino ang dapat itest? Meron pong protocol or tinatawag nila sa technical na lingwahe, algorithm, ang DOH dyan. No? Merong prioritization yan. Siguro po ang mas makakasagot niyan ay ang DOH because tayo po ang ating role ay operational, no? Para tulungan ng ating DOH, ang ating mga ahensya na i-build yung infrastructure para sa testing, no? Pero yung pong medical science, we lead that up to our doctors and our scientists led by our DOH. Salamat po, Joseph. Thank you. Stay safe.
Yusek Rocky, siguro because we're running out of
Opo,
time. Kasi po
Secretary.
pagdating po ng alauna, bumibitaw na yung ilang mga television na channels, no? So, Melo Acuña. Melo.
Hapon po, Secretary.
Yes, go,
Good
Melo.
afternoon, Secretary. I just have several points, but we'll try to catch up. No? Do we still have the funds to address the COVID-19 requirements with the considerable amount of foreign loans we received lately? Will the Philippine economy be able to settle its obligations in the near and medium term, Mr. Secretary?
Yes po. In fact, sa ngayon, hindi pa tayo humihingi ng supplemental budget sa Kongreso. Sapat pa po ang pondo natin as is. Hindi lang po natin alam kung hanggang kailan kasi itong problema sa COVID, hanggang walang bakuna at walang gamot, no? Pero for now, we're okay. Consistent po ang declaration ni Secretary Dominguez that we will honor all our international obligations.
Yeah, the Secretary Roque and Secretary Dizon, it was earlier reported that the government will purchase about 3.3 billion pesos worth of polymerase chain reaction-based test kits to further expand its testing capability. Now, where will these test kits come from? During emergencies like this, will the government still subject the purchase to bidding? Are there interested suppliers? Secretary Dizon, please.
Thank you very much, sir. The purchases were already made based on the recommendations of Secretary Galvez, our chief implementer, and of course Secretary Duque. And I think these are already been, the procurement has already commenced by through the efforts of the DBM procurement service. And I think the first batch, several batches have already arrived. I'm just not familiar yet with the exact details. We will get back to you on that po. Pasensya na po, no? We will check the details of how many have arrived and how many are coming in.
Yeah.
But that's very important po, no? Because the test kits really are in high demand all over the world because of the global demand for these RT-PCR test kits. But I think we already have agreements with several suppliers from various sources all over the world.
Yes. What about PCR machines, Mr. Secretary?
Yes. So, like I said po earlier, there is currently a private and public partnership effort to beef up our laboratory capacity, and this includes the various machines necessary for the laboratories. These are the PCR machines as well as the RNA extractor machines, no, and other equipment necessary. So it's really a bayanihan effort, sir, to really bring all of these labs online. But the government is very critical because it is the government that accredits these facilities. And we need to accredit them very strictly because of, obviously these are biosafety issues that need to be complied with. No? But it is the commitment of the government to really facilitate and handhold all our private sector partners to go through these accreditation processes quickly without sacrificing the biosafety measures that need to be in place.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
very much, Secretary Roque.
Thank you.
Okay, Rocky, last 2 to 3 questions, please. Pakibasa na siguro
pero yung,
questions para masagot na.
Yes. Secretary, ito naman, follow-up lang ni Rose Novenario sa hataw. Composition daw po ng Malacanang yung coronavirus invasion na sinabi ni Secretary Panelo.
Hindi nga po. Inulit ko na po. May memorandum circular na po na sinecentralize po sa Office of the spokesperson, presidential spokesperson, ang communication po natin. Personal opinion po yan ni Secretary Panelo.
Bakit daw po sa Maynila, 17 barangays lamang sa mahigit 800 barangays ang kasama sa SAP, gayong mayorya sa populasyon ay may hirap? Bakit po yung iba ang nangyayari sa mga barangay sa sinasabi ng Pangulo na lahat ng mahihirap ay mabibigyan sa ilalim ng SAP?
Siguro po, mabagal lang talaga o nahihirapan magbigay ng ayuda kasi nga po bawal ang pagtipon-tipon dahil sa social distancing. Pero lahat po ng mga barangay, sigurado po ako dyan, merong qualified beneficiaries sa SAP. Lalo na po ngayon na dinagdagan pa natin ng 5 milyong additional beneficiaries.
From Sam Medanilla ng Business Mirror, kung may update daw po from DBM on the uncommitted funds which the government could tap for its COVID response, and is there already an amount for the supplemental budget na ni-request ng President Duterte from Congress?
The deadline was April 30 and I inquired from Secretary Wendell Avisado kung meron ng sumatotal. Wala pa po, kinokulate pa nila. Pero for now, wala pa po silang hinahandang supplemental budget. Okay pa po, as is where is.
How many build projects daw po ng government has been allowed by the IATF to resume construction in GCQ areas? Are there BBB projects which the government decided to scrap or postpone because of the COVID-19 crisis?
Wala pa pong napapayagan na mag-resume even in GCQ areas, pero I'm sure pag-uusapan na po ito soon.
Opo, yung tanong ni Jillian Cortez, pareho po nung kay Maricel at saka kay Joyce, from Pia Ranyada, what makes Vince Dizon the best choice for testing SARS? Why not a doctor or health expert for the role?
Well, sinabi na po yan, sinagot na po yan ng Presidente kagabi. Vince Dizon is number 1, honest. Vince Dizon is competent. Vince Dizon is a logistics expert. Siya po talaga ang kailangan natin dahil very crucial po ang testing. Kung hindi po natin ma-implement ang widespread and massive testing, di po natin malalaman kung saan ang kalaban. At buong buo po ang tiwala ni Pangulo kay Secretary Vince Dizon. Ganun din po ang aking pagtiwala sa kanya. Ako po ang president ng Vince Dizon Fans Club.
From Julie Aurelio na Inquirer, can we have an estimate of how much manpower the government needs for the 4 mega swabbing facilities? How will the government maintain this manpower once the ECQ is lifted and work in the government, private sector resumes at the volunteers have to go back to work?
Sagot na po yan. Tapos na po yan, sagot na po ng gobyerno yan. Kung magkano man yan, sasagutin ng gobyerno dahil ito nga po yung pamamaraan natin na mahanap kung nasaan ang ating kalaban.
Okay, Secretary, yun po yung ating mga naging katanungan ng ating Malacanang press corps at siyempre kasama na rin po yung ilang FOCAP members.
Okay. So maraming salamat, Yusek Rocky. Maraming salamat kay Secretary Vince Dizon. At maraming salamat, buong Pilipinas. Keep safe. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.
Okay, maraming salamat Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque. Salamat sa RTVM MPC. Sa ngalan ng People's Television Network, ako po si Rocky Ignacio. Salamat po.